What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to improve your movement in Rainbow Six Siege. Before we go any further, links to my Twitch and Twitter in the description below, so make sure you go check those out. Now, movement is really important in this game. It's a first-person shooter game, obviously, as you can tell. So your movement will be very important, making sure you're not exposing too much of your body without being able to see what you're exposing your body to. So today we're going to be talking about how you can improve your movement, and as a result, you can win more gunfights. I kind of discussed this in my How to Win More Gunfights video. I believe it was like 1 or 2 months ago, to be honest. But basically, you want to make sure when you're leaning, this is a mistake I see a lot of people make. When you're leaning the correct way, okay? So what I mean by that is, if you're leaning to your right, and you can see yellow stairs, you know that your body is on the left side. Okay, so it's a first-person shooter game. So you are your eyes, basically. So if you're standing and you can see this wall, then you know that you're behind this wall. If you lean out to the right and you can see these stairs, you have to make sure that your body is still behind the wall. The best way to do this, I've learned, is that when you are trying to aim at something, okay, let's say you're trying to aim at the bottom of these stairs. And you're leaning. When you unlean, you're looking at this wall, so that way you know that your body is protected, because when you're standing straight up and you're in line with your body, you are behind this wall. So therefore, when you lean out, your body stays behind the wall, but your head leans out past the wall. On contrast, if you were to lean the wrong way, if you're trying to lean, let's say you're trying to look at the bottom Vista stairs again, and you're doing it the wrong way, when you unlean, you're completely fully exposed. This seems like a very default tip, and a lot of people will already know how to do this, but I see a lot of people making this mistake, especially in lower ranks. They'll be swinging a corner like this, and it just gets them killed, because the person they're trying to fight can see their body here, and if you're ADS, and you're trying to swing some guy bathroom door, when you're here, you can't see the guy, but he can see you. So you're swinging into his line of sight, and he's not even in yours. And that's just how you lose fights. It's how you lose fights in this game, especially in a first-person shooter game. You just expose yourself before you can even have a chance of winning the fight. Now, the best way to improve this is just kind of think, like my first tip, the example, is if you're leaning like this, for example, let's say you're leaning the wrong way, and you have some time, you're not really getting pushed, you can be like, all right, let me make sure that I am protected. Oh, I'm leaning the wrong way, let me flip around. Another important thing with leaning and just movement in general is being able to quick lean. Quick leaning is difficult. It took me a while to figure it out, but basically the best way to improve this is whenever you're in a T-hunt or just a game in general, you just practice. The best way, in my opinion, is if you're using WASD, and okay, a quick kind of tip for this actually is if you have 2 mouse buttons on the side of your mouse. Mine are my melee and my like flashbangs or grenades or breaching charges or claymore, whatever it may be. But if you don't really use those, or you want to switch it up, you can put your lean on your mouse buttons, and that way, this is what a pro player on TSM Geometrics does. It helps him have some of the best movement in the game, because instead of having to take his fingers off of his WASD to lean using Q and E, it's just on his mouse. So he just uses his thumb, but can maintain his WASD as much as he wants, because he doesn't have to move his fingers to lean. Personally, I use Q and E to lean. So basically, if you're trying to lean to your right, you move your middle finger over, you hit E. When you're going back, you use your pointer finger, you hit E. And at the same time, you want to be hitting D and S. So when you hit E with your middle finger, you want to hit D with your pointer finger. And then when you hit E with your pointer finger, you want to hit A with your ring finger. It's kind of complex. It takes a while. The best way, in my opinion, to start out is trying to do 2 ways, which basically you alternate your middle finger hitting Q and E as you're strafing using A and D with your pointer and ring finger. And then eventually you can move into just one shoulder leans, which are a lot better in my opinion, because you don't expose your body as much. Because like with the first example, when you're leaning this way, when you swing out and you lean back right here, your body is exposed. When you're swinging back, you're like half your body's exposed. Rather, when you use the one-way lean, you maintain more protection, and it's a lot tighter and a lot more difficult to shoot you. And the main thing you want to use quick leaning for is gathering intel. If you're going into a room and you don't know if somebody's near the bomb or near the desk or near this little pillar right here, you can just quick lean. Okay, nobody's at the bomb. Quick lean. Nobody's at that desk. Quick lean. Nobody's at that pillar. I saw somebody. Okay, let me check far to my left. Oh, somebody's there. And you lean back and then you re-lean and you can just shoot them really easily. Another thing you need to learn about, this goes again back to my first point, is perspectives. In a first-person shooter game, you obviously are going to be exposed at certain times and you won't be able to tell. For example, this means, if you're going like, this is a great example right here. I might not be able to see down this doorway until I'm right there. Let's say there's a guy far back at that can, okay? I might not be able to see him until I'm down here, but if he's looking at me, he can see my legs. Let's throw a drone over there and check really quick. If you look at my drone, my whole body is exposed except my head, and I can't even see where my drone is. My drone is not on my screen, but if there was a guy sitting where my drone is, he could see my entire body. This is something you have to learn while you are doing perspectives, and especially if you're holding an angle or you are being held on an angle. You have to realize that now, for example, he can't see me, but this is such a small area, small window to see me, that the best way to beat a pixel peek like this will be just to sprint by, and before they can even react, you have crossed this narrow line of sight. Because if they're on that trash bag right there, and you can't be seen here, and you can't be seen here, it takes 2 steps. If you're sprinting, it takes half a second, and you're completely safe. This is a really annoying hatch to fight against, because you can be seen from that rotate right there, but you cannot see that area. So it just comes down to practicing, dying a lot, to be honest, learning what you can see, what can't be seen, things like that. And then with quick leaning, which was something I talked about quickly, about gaining intel by quickly leaning around a corner and seeing what you see. It just comes down to practice, figuring out what keybinds you want to use, maybe switch to your mouse buttons or switch to a different key on your keyboard. Just practicing in T-Hunt for quick leaning, practicing in custom games, practicing while you're in game, anything like that. But thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe. I stream pretty much every day, link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and peace out, gamers.